Hey there, thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching this bass singing tips video right here on the Bass Singing Central YouTube channel. My name is Matt Fouch and I'm the guy that runs this channel, and I enjoy giving you guys tips and bringing you guys other bass singers that can give you tips, technique, or even just a discussion about bass singing. If you're here for the first time on this channel, or if you've watched others but you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're here on YouTube to make sure that you get notifications when we release videos in the future. Most of the guys that you'll see on this channel, well, basically all of them, are guys that I personally run with that are in the genre that I'm in, which is Southern Gospel. We all sing in gospel male quartets, and that's what I do. I sing with a group called Legacy 5. And so you'll see the guys that I run with. I don't have connections with guys in other genres at this point, but these are guys that you can trust, that are here to help. And so when they give you tips, ideas, technique, things, that's stuff that has worked for them, and they've made a career out of singing bass. So, but one thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to feature another guy that sings with a group called Promisedland Quartet. Now, he comes from a different background than what I would come from, a different career path. See, I personally am not trained vocally. I didn't go to school for voice or vocal performance, but this guy that we're hearing from today, his name is Kacy Armstrong, and Kacy did go to school for vocal performance. He has a degree in it. He also has spent many years singing with the military chorus. So I really think that you guys will get some really good tips, some technique ideas, and just a lot of good information from Kacy. And I wanted to feature him on a tips video for this channel. So here is Kacy Armstrong, and I hope you guys enjoy hearing from him with some bass singing tips.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Thanks for allowing me to share what little bit I know about singing with anyone that's willing to listen to this. I grew up a Southern Gospel Quartet fan. It was one of the biggest things that encouraged me to sing as a bashful young teenager. I did study music. In college, and actually graduated with a Bachelor's of Music in Vocal Performance from East Tennessee State University in 1999. And since then, I've been singing professionally with military choruses and a handful of gospel groups. Most recently, the last 3 years with Promisedland Quartet. When I was in school, I worked for 3 different teachers, all of which I learned from. I've taken bits and pieces and made my own as a musician, and and the rest is through experience. But the basics. Let's talk about just breathing. You want to breathe deep from the diaphragm. You've heard this before. If you're breathing with your shoulders, you're only using the top half of your lung capacity, which you can get away with. It works, but over time, it's just best to just breathe deep and get that big breath of air, and it's just going to help you sing better in the long run. The placement, you hear a lot about talking about placement of the sound. Was basically, I agree, it's just getting it up in the head. Yeah, right. You get up in the head. You want your mask. Get it up in the mask. However you want to think of it. You kind of central. The mask is here. You want your head to resonate, your nasal passages. Too bad ears don't resonate. I'd be in good shape if they did. But anyway, you want to get that sound up. Remember Chris West mentioned raising my eyebrows. Yeah, get it up in there. Something about it helps you just lifts it up, keeps you from swallowing it and from down in the throat, and getting it up in your head voice. And the other thing is raise your soft palate. You got to raise it. I'm guilty of a lazy soft palate. I'm from North Carolina, and I like to swallow all them L's and stuff and everything, what you're talking about. But if you get it, I mean, that thing's dragging the ground on most days, but you got to think about it and get it high instead of ha, 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 ha. raise it up there, give it the space, let it resonate. You're gonna feel better. It's gonna project better. All that's great. Now that's the placement that I use on a daily basis with the U.S. Army Chorus. Primarily, almost all we do is unplugged. So we've got to, we've got to project. There may be some area mics and stuff for the chorus, but the only time we ever hold a mic is if we're soloing in front of the concert band, Army band, or sometimes we do some small group stuff, quartet stuff, and where we'll be on individually mics. But most of the time we live up there and we project, and we're just trying to be heard, and get it out there, real healthy like. I also use that voice when I do any kind of oratorio solos or, some choral gigs around town. I've done some shows and some operas, just enough of those to know that I don't want to do that for a living, but they're fun. Also, when I step out front with Promisedland Quartet and do a sacred classic like I Walked Today Where Jesus Walked, or Deep River, or The Holy City, anything that uses that big boy voice, you know what I mean? I get up in there, pull the mic back, and just go after it. I remember the first time I found that sound that everybody talks about, the placement, the sound. You don't want to do that. It's not good to clear your throat, but I find myself doing it a lot these days. So finding that sound, I remember I was making fun of an aria that my teacher played me. I think it was Non più andrai, Marriage of Figaro aria. Non più andrai farfalloni amoroso. I was just making fun of it. You hear it, you kind of imitate it, you make fun of it. When I did that, my teacher was like, "That's it. That's the place. Did that hurt?" No, it didn't hurt. Do that more. So it's funny, I was making fun of it, but that was where I needed to put that style of music. Now, when I sing in a gospel quartet, when I've got my ears on, my in-ear monitors on, I got a hot mic, and it's time to throw some low notes, I move it from kind of a central forward sound even more into the mask, even more into the nose. And ensemble quartet singing, when everybody's singing, you get it out there, you want to cut through, yeah, green. There you go, Chris. Green, green, yeah. That's the Tim Riley factor. You get it up in there, you want to cut, right? Because you want to cut through the accompaniment track, the bass guitar, whatever it is you're competing with, you want to be heard. Because what's the best part of quartet music? Wireless and bass singers. Anyway, you want to be heard. So that's the placement that I try to get in. Sometimes I can't get it there. If you're congested, drainage, inflammation, mucus, just packed in it, whatever. If you're not able to get it cleared out like you want to before you need to sing, then that's where you got to negotiate, and you got to use some other, you just got to get around it. Whether it's not go for the low sometimes, or there might be some fry in there if you're sick. I don't know. Do I use fry? Maybe I do sometimes. Sometimes I don't. It's okay. There's a time and place for it. But you just got to get it done. So that's when I'm quartet singing, I definitely get it more forward, bring it up into the mask, use them nasal cap. Just give them that in. And so that's about that. Now that we've talked about the placement, basically the head resonance and placement for the two voices that I use in any given time, I want to stress the fact that the George Yonts, Randy Bird, Bennett, Eric Bennett, those fellows that they just be a good singer. That's what they tell you. I agree with that. I think there's a healthy balance of all this stuff. I try to take a little bit of everything and make it my own. You're your own person. Matt mentions this. Just find yourself, apply all these little pieces, and make your own sound. But I love the stress on the song. I love focusing in on the song. Sing from the heart. Sometimes that requires breaking some mechanical, technical rules, which is hard for some people. It's not hard for me, because if you put your heart in it first, and you just trust the rest of it. People see that. They either see you. You don't want them to see you as a robot, even if it's consistent. Don't be a robot. Be a human. Communicate, connect, share that message. I love that when people stress that. Bring the two together, the mechanical and the heart together, and it will equal Jesus. It will equal a message to the people. I've been lucky through the years. I love what the audience members love. Generally speaking, I love the familiar, the traditional. I want to recognize a song when a group sings. I want to be able to hum along or sing along. I want to be invited to be a part of the concert rather than it being a recital. I love that. So if you think about all these things and bring them together, a great example that I try to use sometimes is, as far as technique versus singing from the heart, maybe breaking some rules, is like a song I recorded called "Give Me Jesus." I could sing it like this: in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus. That's fine. That works. It's not that bad. But I can tell you right now, when I find myself at the feet of Jesus, I don't know if I'm going to be singing like that. I don't even know if I'll be singing at all. But I tell you what, I probably will barely be able to speak. And something in the style that I hear is, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus. And think about that. If you show some vulnerability, you've got a hot mic, it's going to come through. People are going to hear you. But when you show that you're human, and you don't mind sacrificing self, technique, to become one with the group, blend, is all about self-sacrifice, to create this one sound as an ensemble, even a quartet. You want to sound like one on your unisons and all that good stuff. But if you show that you're vulnerable, people are going to read into that. People are going to appreciate it. They're going to love it, and you're going to appreciate it more. It's going to mean more. Believe what you're singing. That's pretty simple. Were these tips? No, it's just me sharing a bunch of information. Sorry it took so long. However, just remember what you're singing about, and negotiate every day and try to be the best singer you can. It's not always the same, and that's about all I can give you. So Matt, thanks for allowing me to share some of the things that I've experienced, and I hope that you can take something from this and become a better singer. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. God bless.